Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Tuesday to you all. We continue with the latest music drop from the gentleman over at NCT Wish. One time we checked out the title track, Steady, which was actually quite a good time indeed. I love the cutesy MV. The song was actually quite good as well. But, and there's a big but, we have other music to check out from this release, because this dropped with a mini album. And of course we had to go and check it out. So this is the listening party, or the album listen, for NCT Wish's first mini album, the Steady EP. I believe, hold on, let me get the track list pulled up. Yeah, so this is a 7-track mini album, which I believe came with 2 pre-releases, one of which we've only checked out, so we'll do the other one today. And the final song on the album is the Korean version of their pre-debut pre-release, titled Hands Up, except it's a Korean version of it. Now, to explain, whenever we come across a language remake, unless it's in a really kind of out there language, we won't do them on the listening party, considering we've already listened to it in some capacity, and change the language unless the language is like a very drastic change. Like, for example, let's say it's a Latin-based song and they sing in Spanish. Like, that's very rare in K-pop. So unless it's songs like that, we won't listen to it. And for time constraints, since we've already listened to the title track, we won't listen to it in this as well. So we have track number 2, titled 3 Minutes, which I believe was the second of the pre-releases, which we haven't covered yet. And then the 3 new B-sides, On and On, Supercute, and Skate. Those are the 4 songs you're going to be checking out today. And in terms of admin stuff, before every single, if you are new around here with, or this is your first album listen with me, every single time we start a new song, I'm going to read the credits for said song before we start listening to them, because credit needs to be given where credit is due. The producers, the songwriters, the lyricists, they all deserve some credit into the music that they are creating. So before every single song, I'm going to read off the credits. I have them pulled up on the second screen, and we're just going to go through the album in order. Cool? Good stuff. Let's roll the intro one time. Here we go. So let's get started sharp, shall we? This is an NCT album and also an SM album, so I don't know what's going to happen with content ID checks. This might get chopped up. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But track number 1 is the title track, titled Steady. Of course, as mentioned earlier, we won't listen to it now, but I'm going to read off the credits very quickly. So, lyrics by Kenzie, composition Karen Poole, Georgia Koo, Louis Yankel, Kenzie, arrangement Kenzie, Nozcat, and Shift Key, which takes us to, well, for me, the first of the new B-sides, but the second pre-release, titled 3 Minutes. Number 2, lyrics by Paprika and Brother Sue. Composition, Strawberry Banana Club, Brother Sue and Paprika, with Strawberry Banana Club and Paprika on arrangement.
Our time is running out. 얼마 남지 않은 시간. 지금 이 노래가 흘러나오는 순간 또 만약 멸망하면 지구가
It's that green meteor streak in connection to the ghosty from Steady.
Skip the intro, need no outro. Burn the bridge and 본론으로 긴 말 따윈
Hello, syncopation? Oh, I love the rhythm playing this pre-chorus. I love how big this song is. There's so many layers going on.
Skip the info, 마이크를 줘, turn the beat up, 크게 틀어, 집중하고 지금부터
Yeah, the rhythm play in this beat goes kind of crazy. Oh man, how many MVs have referenced this film? I feel like if it's been referenced that many times, I should watch it at some point, but all of the layers though, there's so many layers going on. Also, a late rap verse. I just clocked. I just cannot get over how complex the rhythm is in this song, because it never keeps, like, this is the simple drum part. Everything else is quite complex, which makes the listening experience actually quite fun indeed, because for me at least, it makes me think about, all right, where's the meter, where's the beat gonna go, and it keeps me very engaged with the song. But I think the all-encompassing thing about 3 minutes in general, sonically, is the fact that, and I'm going to mention this again, I mentioned this when we checked out Steady as well, but boy groups can only do cute music for a certain amount of time before they eventually grow out of it. And I mean, it's the same with girl groups as well, but I feel like with boy groups, that window is significantly narrower. And I mentioned NCT Dream during Study as well, but NCT Dream debuted with very cute sounding music, and now they're doing stuff like Smoothie and, you know, big cinematic songs like Broken Melodies, more like kind of wacky out there songs like Hot Sauce. It's just the nature of us humans. Like, we're not always gonna be that cutesy same person from when we were younger. But the fact that what NCT Wish are doing with their, you know, I'm still going to call it their early music, right? Considering this is their first mini album, is the fact that they're retaining that kind of cutesier, more youthful sounding tone. But they're doing it in different ways every single time. Like, Steady and 3 minutes and, you know, Dunk Shot, which will make the 3 songs from this era that I've listened to so far, paired with Wish and Hands Up and Songbird, like previous titles and stuff, they're all very bright and youthful sounding, and yet they're done in a style that doesn't really overlap with each other, like entirely, like perfectly, you know, like for like overlap with each other yet. But the consistent factor is that they're keeping that youthful sound, and I love how well they're doing it. And the fact that they're really just embracing it at this point, because this is a very time-limited thing, and I love the sound that they're running with. I think 3 minutes, it increases the kind of softer, like cutesier tone, while retaining a decent speed. Like, it's not a terribly slow song. It's not a terribly loud song either, but it's got a nice kind of warm, just fun vibe to it. And I love stuff like this. I love cheesy, like, youthful sound and stuff like this, and they do a really good job of it. They actually remind me of The Wind is a rookie group from last year. They debuted last year with a very cutesy, youthful sounding song, and they were a really good time to follow. Kind of remind me of that, like this year's version of them in a way. So cool stuff. Any Hoosers, we move on. Track number 3 is the first pre-release titled Dunk Shot. Of course, we've already covered it when it dropped, so I'm gonna read off the credits and then quickly move on to the next song. So track number 3, Dunk Shot, lyrics by Kim In Hyung of Jam Factory, composition Oven, Slay, 536, and Opro with the exact same team on arrangement, which now moves us on to track number 4, titled On and On. Lyrics by Somdef and August Rigo. Composition Somdef, August Rigo, and Flexen Door, with Somdef and Flexen Door on arrangement.
Everything, my baby. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Interesting instrumental section.
Turn up. 신비로운 미로에는 빠져. 몸을 맡긴 채 up all night. 이 느낌을 따라 뛰어.
That like almost warbling synth feels like it's sitting on the back end of the beat. Like it feels a little bit slower than the percussion part. Hello vocals. You know, they really are not shying away from the fact that them guys can sing. On and On is mixed in a way where it's kind of like dreamy too, especially that chorus, the way it finishes. Yeah, this song genuinely is really difficult to try and figure out what the pacing of the beat is. Especially with that pre-chorus. I'll explain it once the song's over, because there's going to be a little bit of a waffle. Yeah, when all the vocals come in at the end of the choruses, it feels so dreamy. I love it. But what I was talking about with trying to figure out the meter of this song is really difficult for me. And I think this is more of my musical upbringing coming into play. But for those of you who don't know, I grew up playing violin as a kid. I played from 4th grade all the way through my 2nd year of undergraduate at university. So until I was like 21-ish. My musical background oftentimes relies on listening to the drum to keep the beat, or whatever the low end of the song is. So whether it's your bass or your kick drum or just the percussion part in general, those are what kind of I use to reference what the pacing of this song is. But with On and On, you can't really do that, because the bass and the percussion part, when they're together, don't really feel like they're like smack dab on top of each other. When in the verses, I mentioned right towards the beginning that warbling synth almost feels like it's on the back end of the beat, so it doesn't feel like firm, crisp, right on the money when it comes to every beat. So it's like, okay, I can't figure out, my brain can't figure out if it's supposed to be fast or if it's supposed to be slow or not, because it kind of like teeters the line between the two. And then that pre-chorus comes in, that bottom end kicks out, and then you're left with that drum beat. Okay, and you're thinking, okay, drums. That cool. Like, drum part is the only thing there. There has to be. It has to be super easy to catch the beat. But that pre-chorus has an atypical beat that doesn't have like a steady 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a weird syncopation rhythm in there that is just syncopated enough to the point where there isn't a steady beat to the point where I can figure out what that meter of the song is. And so once again, I'm left wondering, what is the pacing of the song here? And when the chorus comes around, don't get me wrong, the chorus is very pretty, but my brain is like, okay, processing, let's try it again. And by the time I figure out the beat, the verse comes in and I'm lost again. It's like, very rarely have I come across a song that throws me off like this on a musical sense. And I think that's really cool. Like, the takeaway from this for me is rhythmically is a little bit complex and a little bit confusing, but melody wise, it's very, very pretty. The when you get all the vocals stacking, like NCT Wish, from the minimal songs that I do know of them, are very good at stacking vocal lines, getting really pretty harmonies coming out. But On and On might just take the cake when it comes to vocal performances from NCT Wish, because the vocal part throughout this song is rich, it's pretty, it's really well balanced, and it creates the environment of this song. That chorus, when all the vocals come in, is gorgeous. Let's keep her moving. Track on number 5, titled Supercute. Lyrics by 3 of La La Studio. Composition Cleo Teague, Rolo Finlay Dow Smith, with Star Smith on arrangement. Off rip, it kind of reminds me of like a slower, even more youthful sounding version of NCT Dream's Yogurt Shake from the ISTJ album. Cool little slide off at the end. And that super cute melody is cool. Super cute. And for a song titled Super Cute, it doesn't scream like really cutesy, youthful stuff. There's actually a little bit of refinement to it. I think it's the pacing of it, as well as the kind of like like almost cinematic nature to it. Super cute. Yeah, that melody is so satisfying. Yeah, even though like it does retain that kind of usefulness to it, it's this slow or like casual feeling of it that really makes a song for me. A song titled Supercute that doesn't just immediately jump out at you as being a cutesy song. I like it. Can't reveal your full hand right away. And Honestly, they do a good job of selling this. Like, because when you think of, you know, super cute, you almost think of like unashamedly bright, fast, cute music, right? But I think, I don't know, maybe Dunkshot might take it, but out of the songs we've listened to today, Super Cute might be, for me, their most mature sounding song. And that's saying something. Like, it still has all the things about NCT Wish that I like. It's got the stacked vocals, it's got the really nice flowy nature of the song, showcasing the different vocal colors of rap line really well in this. Like, whoever the second rapper is in Super Cute has such a cool vocal color. One day I will learn your names, but yeah, it does. I think when it comes to cutesy, like youthful sounding music, the two key factors for me are probably speed and tone. Like, tone wise, it needs to have that bounce to it. It needs to be, and that bounce needs to be like a firm rebound, like unashamedly, you know, ha, like big bright. And when it comes to pacing, oh, excuse me, I want something that's, you know, it's got that nice bounce to it, but I want that fast bounce. So a song like Songbird does really well. But Super Cute really takes its time and it kind of like almost surfs the beat rather than like bounces off of it. You know, it's got a nice mellowness to it that's very nice. And it does feel like the slower pace, like distant relative of NCT Dream's Yogurt Shake, which I'm not tripping, right? Yogurt Shake is from that ISTJ album. Yes, it is. It's from the ISTJ album. My brain's still working. We are good. But that might be a sleeper pick for B-side of the album for me. Genuinely. Because that's very good. And then we have one final B-side to check out. Track number 6, titled Skate. Lyrics by Eun Hee Young and John Ofa or OFA Ri. Composition, No Identity, Isle, Stella Jang on composition. That's cool. And John Ofa Ri with Eun Hee Young and No Identity on arrangement.
Skateboarding, no worries, no plans. 도로인 물감처럼 우리만의 길. 지금의 flip.
I thought it was gonna be slower than this. This one might have some snappiness to it.
답은 알고 있잖아. So tell me what you feel inside. 상상 속에
Some chiptune going on in the background.
만들 거야.
I got no boundaries 멈추지 마. 두 눈 감고 we're just gonna sway tonight. 터지는
It's definitely a softer song on the ears, though. Even though it is a little bit more brighter, it's
I'm gonna skate through the city lights. 사랑일 거야 아마. 별로 지랄게 we could be a sight. 너와 나의 시간 불같은데도 come on take a chance. 넌 I'm gonna pass. 또 다시 시작해.
there's so many moving parts going, but
So are we gonna
it feels really minimal to me. What is happening?
Open your mind, take a detour. 또 눈을 감아보면 quiet my heart, 널 원하는 part. 한 번의 first date, pressing the brakes. 가끔 생각해 난 sometimes. 어쩜 이 모든 것은 sweet high times. Make a wish, take a sip. 속삭여봐 그 비밀은. I wish you know better by now. I got no boundaries 멈추지 마. 두 눈 감고
I guess if we're talking about like how Skate is going, it is very much like Super Cute, where the song just kind of surfs on the beat a little bit. Like, it doesn't have a firm rebound effect. It doesn't launch vertically straight up very high. It just kind of cruises. Hello, halftime.
가장 밝게 빛날 때 모든 건 시작된 운명이겠지 그러니 shake it up, pack it up, catch it up Let's keep on skating Oh, I'm gonna skate to the city lights
Like, even with the end of the bridge there, when we got that little, like, faster rap section, it still just cruises the beat really nicely.
Come on, take a chance, 너는 gonna dance 또 다시 시작해 what you say now So are we gonna skate, watch me walk a crowd
Oh. Why did it feel like that ended really abruptly? I don't know if it's because I was like hoping we'd get like a bona fide outro to that or what, but it felt like it just went away really quickly. But Skate's actually a really interesting finale piece, because so the thing with pop albums is there's no like one definitive way you need to finish an album. But for me, I always like when an album very clearly shows that this is the final song on the album. And even though, yes, there is one more song after Skate, it's the Korean version of Hands Up, Skate technically is the last new song on the album, right? And usually, even if we've got like instrumental tracks or language remakes or anything like that following this final song, I like to think, 9 out of 10 albums that I listen to, or at least that I cover here, the final song is very clearly going to show that it is the final song on the album. Whether it's a nice, soft, emotional ballad, or it's like a fan song saying thank you to the fans, or whether it's they treat it like an encore at a concert and they finish with a big party banger. Usually there is a definitive like key identifier that shows that this is the final song on the album. With Skate, yes, you can make the argument that it is that, one of the softer sounding songs on the album, arguably the softest sounding song on the album. And while I will concede that point, and I agree with you, I agree with that point. I mean, I'm making the point, I guess, of course I'm going to agree with it, but you get my point. Yes, it is a soft sounding song, but it doesn't inherently scream final song on the album to me, and I think that's an interesting way to finish, because that means this Steady album is one of the very few albums that doesn't meet that album finisher kind of cookie cutter template that so many albums cover. And Skate's definitely mixed differently than all the other songs too. Like, the amount of emphasis on the low end is different to the rest of the album. The pacing of the percussion part, or the rhythm part, I feel like is treated a little bit differently than the rest of the album. And I guess in that case, yes, there is something a little bit different about this song that, could make a case on why it is the finale song. I just think that's really interesting. That's a very interesting album formation style they've gone here. But there is, if we're talking about the song itself, there is a kind of certain relaxing effect to Skate. Like, it's faster than Supercute. At least I think it is, right?
이리 가야만 해 그곳이 어디든 Again, we could be a sign 게 좋아 like
Okay, Supercute has a little bit of a swingier beat to it. That's why it's, I think, by BPM is slower. But Skate comes across as being, I think, a little bit more of a, not a moodier song, but a more mood-like song, and I think that's why it comes across slower. But yeah, there is something a little bit different about Skate that I can't really put my finger on. For my first proper dive into NCT Wish's music, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Like, let me actually go back into NCT Wish. So with Songbird, it came with the B-side Tears Are Falling. I never listened to that, or at least on camera. And with Wish and Sail Away, their debut single, I never made it around to that either. At least not on camera. I actually do need to go back and check out Wish and Sail Away at some point. But for this being my first proper, look into NCT Wish's music, it just it's more established the point of kind of what I already knew about NCT Wish and their music, and it's that being so early on in their career, they really pull off that youthful sound very well. And it's not like a one-track thing either. It's multiple different styles, all done really well. And I mean, as expected, this is an NCT group we're talking about here. The music quality is going to be high, but they are making that useful, fun music again that I'm really liking. And again, is such an like a rare and exclusive thing because of the fact that there is kind of an age window as to when groups can pull this sound off. And I hope that they can continue doing this for some time. And if and when they grow out of this kind of useful sound, that whatever they stumble upon and whatever they end up going towards is really going to do them justice, because NCT Wish have a sneaky high amount of vocal talent that, for me as a fan of like the big creative elaborate vocal sections, I adore. And is one of the things that's going to keep me coming back for more when it comes to NCT Wish is the rich vocal top line. And I hope that is one, no matter what the sound is, I hope they never lose that. But that is it for me with the NCT Wish album. Thank you all for listening along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. One last request from me today: let us work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world. Whether it be, checking in with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness that may brighten up someone else's day-to-day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, an ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.